Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Bhuttamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Beginning from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 12, Rahugana converses with Jayabharat, Shloka number 13, is 7th Canto. यतोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्य कथाविघातः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः
निषेव्यमानो अनुदिनं मुमुक्षोर्
निषेव्यमानो अनुदिनं मुमुक्षुर्
मतिं सतीं यच्छति वासुदेवे
मतिं सतिं यच्छति वासुदेवे
यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः
निषेव्यमानोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षो
निषेव्यमानोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षो
मतिं सतीं यच्छति वासुदेवे
मतिं सतिं यच्छति वासुदेवे
यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः
निषेव्यमानोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षो
निषेव्यमानोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षो
मतिं सतीं यच्छति वासुदेवे
मतिं सतिं यच्छति वासुदेवे
यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः
निषेव्यमानोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षो
निषेव्यमानोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षो
मतिं सतीं यच्छति वासुदेवे
मतिं सतिं यच्छति वासुदेवे
यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
यत्रोत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः
प्रस्तूयते ग्राम्यकथाविघातः
निषेव्यमानोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षो
निषेव्यमानोऽनुदिनं मुमुक्षो
मतिं सतिं यच्छति वासुदेवे
मतिं सतिं यच्छति वासुदेवे
Go to translation. Yatra,
Yatra,
in which place,
in which place,
in the presence of exalted devotees,
in the presence of exalted devotees,
Uttama Shloka Guna Anuvadaha,
Uttama Guna Anuvadaha,
discussion of the pastimes
discussion of the pastimes
and glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead.
and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Prastuyate
Prastuyate
is presented,
is presented,
Gramya Katha Vigataha,
Gramya Katha Vigataha,
due to which there is no chance of talking of worldly matters,
due to which there is no chance of talking of worldly matters.
Nishevyamanaha,
Nishevyamanaha,
being heard very seriously,
being heard very seriously,
Anudinam,
Anudinam,
day after day,
day after day,
Mumukshaho,
Mumukshaho,
of persons who are very serious about getting out of material entanglement,
of persons who are very serious about getting out of material entanglement.
Matim,
Matim,
meditation,
meditation,
Satim,
Satim,
pure and simple,
pure and simple,
Yachati,
Yachati,
is turned,
Stern,
Vasudeve,
Vasudeve,
unto the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva.
unto the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva.
Translation and purport by esteemed Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Who are the pure devotees mentioned here? In an assembly of pure devotees, there is no question of discussing material subjects like politics and sociology. In an assembly of pure devotees, there is discussion only of the qualities, forms, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is praised and worshipped with full attention. In the association of pure devotees, by constantly hearing such topics respectfully, even a person who wants to merge into the existence of absolute truth abandons the idea and gradually becomes attached to the service of Vasudeva. Therefore, the symptoms of pure devotees are described in this verse. The pure devotee is never interested in material topics. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has strictly prohibited his devotees to talk about worldly matters. Kamya Vartana Kahibe. One should not indulge in talking unnecessarily about the news of the material world. One should not waste time in this way. This is a very important feature in the life of a devotee. A devotee has no other ambition than to serve Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This Krishna consciousness movement was started to engage people 24 hours daily in the service of the Lord and in His glorification. The students in this institution engage in the cultivation of Krishna consciousness from 5 in the morning to 10 at night. They actually have no opportunity to waste their time unnecessarily by discussing politics, sociology, and current events. These will go their own way. A devotee is concerned only with serving Krishna positively and seriously. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashlakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saditam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaskute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this is a very nice turn in the topic of philosophy. The last shloka, yesterday's shloka, today's shloka. So now here the discussion was about what is the cause of everything that exists. So the first, this one, that is gross cause that was discussed. So that is the earth is the cause of various things. Earth is the component of various things. So even though like different things are like having different kinds of names and forms, so but then the like original product is earth, and from there like it went to atoms, but then still it cannot be called as the absolute truth. The absolute truth must be something beyond these things. So like then it came to the point of the Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and how to actually understand this particular entity. So then this whole topic about so smearing the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, this has come. So now we see that it is quite scientific. This devotional service is not some sentimental subject, it's quite scientific subject, and it has a scientific way of actually applying this process. No one can actually become aware of the absolute truth. So just like to read the yesterday's thing also. My dear King Nalgana, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. One cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, strictly following the rules and regulations of householder life, leaving home as a vanaprastha, accepting sannyas, or undergoing severe penances in winter by keeping oneself submerged in water, or surrounding oneself in summer by fire and scorching heat of the sun. There are many other processes to understand the absolute truth, but the absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of great devotee. Right? So this is like very amazing, this one. So Prabhupada also cites Vedeshu Durlabham Madurlabham Atma Bhakto, right? So like many places it is mentioned that these processes, many different processes are there, but it is Supreme Lord is very difficult to attain by these processes. Even when Dhruva Maharaj goes to forest to get the darshan of the Lord, to get a bigger kingdom than his great grandfather. So Narad Muni comes and tells that देखो like इतना साधु लोग बैठा है like वो मरने वाला है, अभी तक भगवान नहीं मिला उनको. So it is like it is quite difficult to actually attain the Lord, to get the audience of the Lord. And simply by observing some very strict rules and regulations, or observing brahmacharya and things like that. So this is not a person cannot understand the Supreme Lord, a person cannot, attain the Supreme Lord. So one is any statements that you remember of, which can help us attaining the Supreme Lord, which can some things, which is for sure, which will, take us back to Godhead. One thing of that, Christian statement is that,
Humble and meek will
humble and meek shall inherit the kingdom
kingdom
of
of God.
God, something like that. So that is very, this one, so like the humble and meek, so one who can actually put down his ego and then become humble in front of, at least the Lord and the devotees. So he can actually, get the grace of the Lord and, can actually enter into the kingdom of Lord. Any other statements? That Shalilam, you used to.
Salilam Yatham.
Hmm.
Like taking associating with devotees.
Lower than strolling the street in this Chaitanya.
Sikshashtakam that comes. That comes. So, but direct statements on this one. Yatha Sharad, no? Like, so constant hearing, of the glories of the Lord, in a humble mood in a very humble mood. So that actually is very, very powerful, this one. So here also in this today's shloka also it is that particular, this one is mentioned. So one is like in yesterday's shloka it is mentioned about one should get the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees and smear upon his, entire body. So this means that, he surrenders to that personality and then he follows, whatever, whatever I feel good is not good. Whatever my object of surrender is feeling good, that is what is good, right? So, and accordingly, like, he just takes, whatever is favorable and unfavorable, and he depends on that personality. It's not that he like, किसी का like lotus feet dust निकाल के like ये कर लिया अभी देखो मैं कर लिया था. So that is not the thing, So the thing that is there is that one like submits himself to that personality and then he follows, and he tries to please that personality. So that is this one. So that particular process is mentioned and no other process, will actually work. Because originally we are servants of the Supreme Lord. So any other mechanical process that is there, which is not bringing about this attitude of servant in the heart, so that is not going to be like the ultimate beneficiary, not ultimate beneficial thing. Right, so in the Ajamil pastime also, like in the 6th canto, there is a nice analysis that is made. So, like, Maharaj Parikshit asks, like, what is the use of following all the, like, what is that, all the different dharmas, So then finally, like, a person is, going to hell and things like that. So what is the use of following all the prayaschitta and things like that? So he is, then the analysis of the quality of the prayaschitta is made. The prayaschitta, how can a material solution can solve the problem, material problem, So the solution must be spiritual in nature. So like people are, because of their enjoying tendency, they are getting into sinful, reactions and things like that. And the prayaschitta is also on the same material plane. So how can it solve? The real solution is, we are servant of Lord and we have forgotten it and we are trying to enjoy. So until unless that solution is applied, until unless that knowledge is given that we are servant of the Lord and we are meant to engage in the service of the Lord, so then all other solutions, it doesn't have the real medicinal value. The real medicine is something which is antidote to our problem, so that is not there. So like all the other prayaschitta and all other processes, of extreme rules and regulations or the brahmacharya or severe penances and things like that, it cannot help. The real sadhana, like a real thing that is going to help us is like to become humble and to become like to apply to the process of shravanam and kirtanam. So this is like really very powerful actually. So that is the real process. So whenever we have some vrata, we want to increase something. So we have to increase our study of Bhagavatam, increase our chanting of the names of the Lord, and increase the direct processes. Like sometimes devotees are confused about what is the direct process of Krishna consciousness and what is the indirect processes. So what are the direct processes? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So the now with the bhakti, and especially in that the Panchanga bhakti is considered to be like really very powerful. So Nam Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravan, and things like that, Sadhu Sangha. So these things are really very, very powerful mechanisms. So one should increase these aspects rather than increasing any other aspects. Uh, like fasting is there, and we have many different aspects are there. So they have to be done in a minimal way. So there is no point in doing it in extravagant way, that those particular things, because those are not the direct processes of Krishna consciousness, and they are not having that much medicinal value, because it is just the austerity of putting the body into some trouble. So but actual thing is that the increase of the direct process of Krishna consciousness, which can actually create a lot of transformation in the heart, right? So that is a very important aspect. So here that is nicely mentioned, and so this dust, taking the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, means to apply themselves to the process of surrender. So as we have discussed in the past, like the 6 limbs of surrender, so that needs to be there. So without that, definitely the Pada Raja is like very powerful. So just like the holy name is also quite very powerful. So but when we are indulging with the holy name, so what is the effect of the indulgence? So if a person is indulging with surrender, so then it will have its effect. In the same way, the lotus feet dust is also like very, very powerful. But then we need to also know how to connect with it. The same example, like we keep discussing, that mobile phone charging, with double tape, काम नहीं करेगा, like, the socket is powerful, but then the process of connection is wrong. So then it is not going to be like, it is not going to give the desired result. So in the same way, like all the transcendental subjects are very, very powerful, if only we know how to connect with them properly, right? So then we'll be able to get the benefit of association of those transcendental entities. So here another very powerful transcendental entity is discussed, that is the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, but it has also process to do. So like how did Narad Muni accepted the Mahaprasad of the great Vaishnavas? So he served them first nicely, and then these great Vaishnavas, they were like very pleased with him, and they allowed him to have the this one, Mahaprasad. So this without service, just taking the Mahaprasad, so it will have very little effect. It will not have a tremendous effect like what Narad Muni saw. Like he went on to become a great personality. So almost like Jagat Guru. So this is possible, by sincerely, trying to serve and please, and the mood of humility and things like that. So that is what is actually like creating this revolution. So otherwise, just coming in contact with these powerful entities, then we will say like, hey, like no, this is all false, like nothing works. So I did itna din mala kiya, jitna jo bhi devotee tha, like sabka dust le liya. कुछ बचा नहीं. या तो नाम पे पावर नहीं है, तो डिवोटी ना ऐसा पाखंड कर रहा है, उसका डस्ट कुछ काम नहीं कर रहा. So but then never there is like all these entities I got indulged, and then there is no effect. So maybe those things are faulty. So but never the point comes like, maybe the way I associated with them is faulty, right? So that is the important this one, the way I associate with them. So that makes a lot of difference. So from our side, from the Lord's side, like he has given the powerful entities to deliver us, the very, very powerful entities to deliver us. So from our side, so what are we supposed to do? So we are supposed to do this process of surrender. So in today's shloka also, like it is nicely mentioned, who are those pure devotees? It starts with Yatra uttama shloka gunanuvada. So in such a place where, in the presence of these exalted devotees, the context is set in the previous shloka. And so in such a place, so like the constant glorification of the Supreme Lord is happening, and then because of which there is an absence of Gramya Katha, or absence of worldly subject matters. So this is like a very important thing. So we were also discussing in last few days that that abhyasa and vairagya. So these two things are very essential. Which Krishna mentions to Arjuna also, like these two aspects have to be done. So abhyasa is like indulgence in the powerful entities. Like these the primary angas of bhakti, and then vairagya is the rejection of the worldly subjects, which is also part of the process of surrender. Anukulyasya sankalpan, pratikulyasya varjitam. So, like if we see in that way, like the chanting, study of scriptures, and everything comes in the anukula, like things that are favorable, and the offenses and the other subject matters other than the subject matter of Krishna. So these things have to be rejected. So that also comes in the pratikul, this one. So like finally, if you see, if you want to say like what is the essence of all the practice of Krishna consciousness, so one can simply say Sharanagati. So it has like all encompassing. It is everything is included in that particular aspect. So in that way, like we see here, so like in today's sloka, it is very very good for sadhakas, especially the devotees in brahmacharya ashram. So like like only thing that is to be indulged in is the subject matter of Krishna, and anything apart from that, Prabhupada is elaborating that a little bit, politics and sociology, or all other aspects which are concerning, where the center is not Krishna, where there are certain solutions are offered to the problems of life, where center is not Krishna. Such kind of things has to be avoided, because I was just reading Life Comes From Life. I'm finishing all the books. Like there are certain small books I had not read. So, and our Vidwan Prabhu was like behind like anything ki, you should get all your people finish all the Prabhupada books. Then I thought like I have kept reading Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita many times, and few other books like which I focused on. So certain small books I have omitted. So then before telling others I should finish. So like I took all these books and I started finishing one by one. So you might be seeing my quotations. That is the books I am reading. So in that, some discussion actually came. So whereas the modern science is describing there is quite a good amount of scientific advancement has been done. And what is the problem with those advancements? Like the subject matter is discussed in exclusion of Krishna. That is the problem. So Krishna is not included in the subject matter. So that is the primary problem. And such subject matters have to be given up. And even the subject matters, like whatever is being discussed, the prime thing is its connection with Krishna. So we are also like struggling to establish our connection with Krishna. So further if we indulge in the subjects where Krishna is carefully avoided, so then it is not very good for the sadhana, right? So, and it is mentioned here, in an assembly of pure devotees, there is discussion only of the qualities, forms, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Nama Rupa Guna Leela of the Lord has been described, and it has been described in complete. So, like if we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is discussion of the universal creation. So, like how is it in connection with Nama Rupa Guna Leela of the Lord? What is its connection with the Nama Rupa Guna Leela of the Lord? Okay. So, universal creation. How things have come in and how they function, how the material world functions.
That is Leela.
Yeah, this is also a Leela of the Lord. This is like, the creation of the material world is a Leela of the Lord. So like a devotee, we see that a pure devotee of the Lord, a very exalted devotee of the Lord. So like both of them are discussing, and they are discussing all the subject matters. How everything, like, there is no subject that is left out. Every subject is discussed in connection with Krishna. So when Krishna is there in the center, and how Krishna performs these activities, so then it becomes like quite nourishing. So he is praised and worshipped with full attention in the association of pure devotees by constant hearing such topics respectfully. Even a person who wants to merge in the existence of absolute truth abandons the idea and gradually becomes attached to the service of Vasudeva. Right, so here, how is it that a person who's attached to like merging into the, like who wants merging into the existence of absolute truth, how he abandons this. It's all about, we have an example of that, when Gopinath Acharya and Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, they were discussing, and Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya was giving all Mayavad conclusions, of this one. So, but then Gopinath Acharya was like trying his hard to convince him, no, like Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an incarnation of the Lord, and he's like he was trying to establish all these things very nicely. So, but then Gopinath Acharya could not able to understand at all. So then later on, Mahaprabhu like spent 7 days time with Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya. So then after that, Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya transforms. So there, what is the conclusion that is offered? What is the reason behind Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya becoming a devotee? Mercy of a devotee, right? So mercy of a devotee is very, very essential. Mercy of Gopinath Acharya, and also based on following the mercy of the devotee, there is the mercy of the Supreme Lord also comes. So one is the mercy, another is how much a devotee is addicted to the Lord. That is also very important. So if somebody, this is all very tough cases. If there is a tough case that is there, so then medical case, then he'll be referred to a expert doctor. He'll be referred to an expert doctor for treatment. So in the same way, like if there is a tough case, that is there, so he should be referred to a expert devotee, who is like more addicted to the Supreme Lord, than this person, being addicted to the Brahman. Right. So this is essential. So when somebody is engaged in the non-stop, continuous process, here it is. Anudinam is mentioned. So in continuous service of the Supreme Lord, continuously exposing himself to the Nama Rupa Gunalila of the Lord, so he becomes very, very seasoned. As Prabhupada often mentions this example of iron rod kept in fire. So that has to be practically performed. So the water can come in the form of cell phone. जिसको ठंडा करने के लिए, right? So, but we have to keep ourselves hot and warm. So the symptom of pure devotee are described in this verse. The pure devotee is never interested in material topics. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has strictly prohibited his devotees to talk about worldly matters. Gramya Vartana Kahive. No one should not indulge in talking unnecessarily about the news of material world. So one should not waste time in this way. This is very important feature in the life of a devotee. So this is categorically, as it is glorified that we should do Shravanam and Kirtanam. It is also mentioned that we should not do what is not to be done. So it's all what is it? Vidhi and Nisheth. These two things always parallelly comes. In anything that we do, so these two things parallelly comes. If we go to a doctor for this one, so there is some vidhi. You should follow these things. You should follow these prescriptions. You should take these medicines. You should take these things. This is good for you, and you should avoid certain things. Vidhi and nishedh is always there. So the vidhi is to get intense attraction towards the Supreme Lord. The vidhi is to engage in Shravanam and Kirtanam, and nishedh is that you should not talk of anything else apart from the subject matter of Krishna. So this vidhi and nishedh has to be properly put. So that is the same thing as the abhyasa and vairagya. So this always, it is a couple. It goes together. So now, if we don't follow the vidhi properly, so it's a problem. If we follow the vidhi properly, and then if we don't follow the nishedh properly, so then also it's a problem. So it's we get fever, and then we take nice medicines, and then then the doctor say you take things which have vitamin C and things like that. So you take some what is that? Oranges have that. Oranges and things like that, and साथ थोड़ा कर्ड भी ले लिया, है ना? So निषेध को follow नहीं किया. So then what happens? So then he becomes, his disease is not getting cured. Then डॉक्टर के पास जाके बोलते हैं मैं सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ, जो भी बोला सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ, जो आप नहीं भी बोला उसको भी कर रहा हूँ, वो प्रॉब्लम है. So जो नहीं बोला है उसको नहीं कर रहे हैं, जो बोला है उसका किया अच्छा है, जो नहीं बोला उसको भी क्यों किया, उसको नहीं करना चाहिए, so like that. So it is very technical aspect, है ना? So No, so one should not waste time in that way, and this is very important feature, in the life of a devotee. So, following things that are need to be followed and things that are need to be avoided. A devotee has no other ambition other than to serve Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now we see the different definitions of the ultimate goal. No, ultimate goal is no doubt that it is Krishna Prem. So that is being like illuminated in different ways. So one is that constantly being engaged in the service of the Lord. What other ways? Srila Prabhupada actually tells about the goal, ultimate goal.
Going back home, back to God.
Yeah, so going back home, back to Godhead, continuously serving Krishna, and then attaining Krishna Prem.
Always hearing about Krishna.
Always hearing about Krishna. Okay, so that is a process, and also the goal. But then, like this here, clearly, like we can see that constant service, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then. It is mentioned about like Narayana Parasarve Naku Daschina Bibhyati Sarva Pavarga Narakesha Apitulyata Darshana. So like the state of existence of his is that like he is constantly being engaged in the service of the Lord, and it doesn't matter where he is. He just simply want to be engaged in the service of the Lord. So like this constant engagement in the service of the Lord, going back to Godhead, Krishna Prem. So these are all definitions of the very same goal. It is not different goals that has been talked about. It's the one goal that has been talked about, right? So this Krishna consciousness movement was started to engage people 24 hours daily in the service of the Lord and His glorification. So like this is the process, because if we at all want to get the desired result, so then the process must be like really like diligent, indulgence in things which are connected to Krishna, and avoidance of things which are not connected. So in the word to word, like Prabhupada actually gives Gramya Katha, Vigataha, which is due to which there is no chance of talking worldly matters. So due to what? So due to discussions of the pastimes and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's like so much of profuse glorification of the Lord is happening that there is no other time is left for anything else. So I was talking to Vidhan, he was keep on mentioning that the whole day of brahmacharya should be routinized. There is no thing to actually think of what should I do, what should I not do, and things like that. Whole thing should be next after this, this after this after this, and then before we even realize the day is finished, and then just sleep. So like that. So it is very essential that without any gap, a person have to be like engaged, in the service of the Lord, in the thoughts of the Lord. So that is when like, so this is the original plan of the Acharya, and even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did this, and Srila Prabhupada also did this, and many times like it is misquoted that Prabhupada says that my Grihastha disciples are like sannyasis, so it is many times it is misquoted, because like the current day Grihastha disciples are doing their work and a little bit of sadhana and things like that. So but what Prabhupada told was, his Grihastha disciples were staying in the temple, and then whatever they would earn, and they would give it to Prabhupada, and then whatever Prabhupada would give, saying like, okay, with this you manage your family, they would accept, and that is like equivalent to sannyasi, that's what Prabhupada was talking about. Like we should see, like, when Prabhupada makes a statement, so what was the condition at that point in time, right? So and it was very clear. So you have to be completely engaged in the service of the Lord to attain perfection. So and devotees made that kind of tremendous progress. And Srila Prabhupada used to tell that, these, see, I've picked up these people, I've shown you the sample which from where I picked up, and I've transformed these people, within 2-3 years, sannyasis, it's like really like very powerful, powerful method of reaching that Srila Prabhupada actually put. And this is by constant engagement in Shravanam and Kirtanam, and carefully avoiding the like anything external, anything apart from that. So we were discussing in the last time also that in the Prabhupada's plan, like he was, even when books were not there, so like devotees were asked to do Sankirtan, and they would go after morning program, from morning till evening, they would go in the street and they would do kirtan. And then they come back and then have the temple program like evening kirtan and Bhagavad Gita class and Krishna book and sleep. It's like highly transcendental program, highly powerful program, and devotees made tremendous advancement by that process. So in this way we can see that so like Prabhupada is telling that 24 hours a day, like for in the service of the Lord and in His glorification, the students in this institution engage in the cultivation of Krishna consciousness from 5 in the morning to 10 at night. So like we have 10 at night means like with sleeping, Prabhupada is telling. So we know like Prabhupada actual this one is like 4:30 Mangalarti and then getting up at 3 o'clock. So Prabhupada is just telling mercifully some time. So they actually have no opportunity to waste their time unnecessarily by discussing politics, sociology, or current events. These will go their own way. So the world will continue to exist. These subject matters will continue to exist, and there will be devotees of them. The devotees of politics, devotees of sociology, devotees of current events, and they will keep on glorifying them. So there is no dearth of people glorifying them. So there is only dearth of people glorifying the Lord. So we should not think that there is, if we leave it in pool, glorify those subjects. So definitely there will be people to glorify them. So a devotee is concerned only with serving Krishna positively and seriously, right? So this I pause. Any questions or comments you can take?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for this nice class, where you highlighted so many top points about fully engaging in service of the Lord. When we consider this case study where Srila Prabhupada engaged all of them full day in Kirtan, but currently that is not our case. We don't do Shravanam Kirtan on full day. We have the aspect of Dasyam that is there. So it's not that intense as compared to what they were doing.
So, like once books came, so Srila Prabhupada engaged them in distributing the books. And then slowly, then the programs and different things took shape. So then he advised them to engage in these different things. And then in one place, I saw one quotation of Srila Prabhupada that rather than doing Sankirtan every day, like in the streets, why not you establish a center? So then there the kirtan would continuously be going on, and things like that. So in this way, like Prabhupada developed the idea over a period of time. So the ultimate aspect is like engagement in the primary angas of bhakti to a great extent. And when we analyzed, like Prabhupada wanted 7 to 8 hours of Shravanam, Kirtanam and deity worship and taking darshan of the Lord and things like that. So if we see all of the morning program is like fully filled with Shravanam Kirtanam, like either singing a bhajan or taking darshan of the Lord and things like that. So this is something that Prabhupada wanted uncompromisingly. So then after that, like he wanted to make the propagation of the mission. So the mission is also, what is the mission? So if the mission is like misunderstood, so then many times like so many things happen, like people establish temples and then they copy probably people are interested in some rituals followed in other sampradayas. So then we will bring in those rituals and things like that. So mission is not attracting people. The mission is propagation of holy name and mission is propagation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So these subject matters have to be kept very much in the center, and then the propagation has to be made. And also, like Prabhupada felt over a period of time that not everybody are capable of taking on to this process. So, like for doing this process of continuous chanting of the names of the Lord, so in the form, either in the form of chanting or in the form of kirtan, so one requires few other extra settings that are required. So one is in the like 3 tracks also you might have seen. So when they come to that stage, there is a great inspiration from a like another higher personality. So their availability of Srila Prabhupada was there at that point in time. So he could just infuse them with so much of faith in the Lord. So that is something which is essential aspect. And also like the devotees taking up that he is like what he is doing is Tyaktva Swadharmam Charanambujam Hare. So like that is happening. So but then like the keep on giving up Swadharma and then like indulging in that, and then they are not able to sustain and then fall back. So it is by accident if they fall back, it's okay, like chalega, like still the process is very powerful. So but then here the person to infuse that tremendous faith, that is like Srila Prabhupada is still living in his books and in his teachings. So somebody wants to take it, he can take it. So but then still that like many people are not able to access that infusing of mercy. And then second aspect is like no, people may not be able to sustain that level of this one. So then the safest this one is the next level is that like engaging according to the propensities. The service in the ashram was also like given according to the propensities of the devotees, so that they can nicely engage for a longer period of time, right? So and then our ultimate goal is to develop this intense attachment to Shravanam and Kirtan, the primary angas of bhakti. So like in case if you're not able to do that, then the next step, somehow or other, like we have to be engaged within the Navavida Bhakti and the aspects of this like somehow or other, like we have to be enthusiastically engaged continuously, and with the goal of increasing our Shravanam and Kirtan. So like Prabhu always keeps telling that Bhaktivinoda Thakur's this one is that he starts with Swanishta, and then like his goal is that keep on increasing your rounds. Like Har Ekadashi ek round or Har Saal ek round. After that, like so dhire dhire karke, like the rounds go to such an extent that like he doesn't have anything else to do in his life, like that. So that is the principle which is advocated by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Any other? So you can share some points.
Hare Krishna. So it was very nice to hear about the aspects of intense devotional service. You mentioned about from the purport also we explained that one should speak and hear only about the Lord and not anything else apart from that. So profuse glorification, when it is there, naturally there will be no time for anything else. Profuse glorification of the Lord. And to start with, one has to put down one's own ego and be humble in front of the Lord and the devotees. So that will help one to advance in devotional service. That also goes on to say that when we submit ourselves to the Lord, to the devotee, then we accept all those things which they like as favorable. And we execute that in our day-to-day life. So that will help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the nice class. Really nice to know the quality of surrender, being humble. You have to engage do all the angas of bhakti with surrender. When that is missing, you have engage in the service of the Lord with surrender should be done. And meditation, what should be done is engaging the service of the Lord. And Nisheda, we have to avoid offenses and material subject matters. So when there is completely engaged in the service of the Lord, there is no question of engaging the material activities. So this will give a lot of impact on our selves. So these are the points. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So you mentioned that so Prabhuji, you are mentioning that so first we have to serve the devotees, like taking the dust of the devotees or taking the Mahaprasad means like first we have to serve them. Then by their, if they're pleased, then if you take the Mahaprasad, then it will have a tremendous effect. Without service, if you just take it and then it will be like it's not properly we are engaging in the association of the devotees or the five limbs of five powerful process of devotional service like Savanam, Kirtanam, and this one, like Harinam, Bhagat, Shravan, and other things. We have to engage properly. Or if we don't engage properly, then we'll not see effect.
Hare Krishna Vadanasana. Thank you very much for amazing class. Like you said, Abhyas and Vairagya both are equally important, and also the engagement in the direct limbs of bhakti is very important. So that can that can bring us closer to Krishna, not by practice of some strict rules or something that we can get Krishna. Practice is also important, but at the same time, engagement in direct limbs of devotion is very important. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So you mentioned that in the end, like our Shravanam and Kirtanam should increase, and that is how, like last year we were mentioning. So after successful means after regular intervals, we should keep increasing our rounds till that how Bhakti Vinod Thakur says will. But currently, like we are not able to do it. So means but other direct limbs are available. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Sadhu Sang and Mathura Vas and all these we can do.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. And you told that our goal is to constant here with humble attitude and constant service to Supreme Lord. And in ashram should we engage 24 hours so that no gap should be there. And in the essence of Krishna consciousness is Saranagati. That is very nice. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So you were telling about reading all the Prabhupada books, like Vidwan Gaurang Prabhu was telling, like, I want to read all the Prabhupada books step by step. That is taken.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So you mentioned that transcendental subjects are very, very powerful, and also transcendental entities are very, very powerful. But as you gave the example of Narad Muni when he took the Mahaprasad from the Bhaktivedantas, so first he served them nicely, pleased them, and then they voluntarily allowed him to take their eminence. So similarly, without service, any of the transcendental entities, they will have some effect, but not much effect. But when we serve them nicely, associate with them in a correct way, then they'll have a nice, greater effect. Hare Krishna.
Hey Krishna Prabhu, we saw that how Jad Bharat said that nothing actually, like no amount of austerity, penance, or anything following celibacy can give us Lord. Only by bathing in like dust of the lotus feet of pure devotee can give us God. And we saw that what it actually means, it's full surrenders to the object of worship and the 6 limbs of Sharanagati that is there. And we also saw that how these limbs, these important limbs are very powerful, but still we are not able to advance so much because we are not that correct medium. We don't know. It's like you gave example that socket is very powerful, it gives electric current, but if tape is there, then it's not very much useful. So we should also know that how to connect with this topic.
When we talk about that rest of the lotus feet, yesterday did we discuss this Naisham with this?
I quoted.
So I always wanted to read this. So just 2-3 minutes is there. So we will just try to read this particular shloka. Unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, completely free from material contamination, persons very much inclined towards materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord in this way can one be freed from material contamination. Becoming Krishna consciousness brings about anartha apagamaha, so the disappearance of all anarthas, the miserable condition we have unnecessarily accepted. That is the anarthas. The material body is the basic principle of these unwanted miserable conditions. The entire Vedic civilization is meant to relieve one from these unwanted miseries. But persons bound by the laws of nature do not know the destination of life. As described in the previous verse, Ishatantryam Urudham Nibaddah. They are conditioned by the 3 strong modes of material nature. The education that keeps the conditioned soul bound life after life is called materialistic education. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained that materialistic education expands the influence of Maya. Such an education induces the conditioned soul to be increasingly attracted to materialistic life and to stray further and further away from the liberation from unwanted miseries. One may ask why highly educated persons do not take to Krishna consciousness. The reason is explained in this verse. Unless one takes shelter of a bona fide, fully Krishna conscious spiritual master, there is no chance of understanding Krishna. The educators, scholars, and big political leaders worshipped by millions of people cannot understand the goal of life and take to Krishna consciousness, for they have not accepted a bona fide spiritual master and the Vedas. Therefore, in the Mundaka Upanishad, it is said, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo Na Medaya Na Bahuna Shrutena. One cannot become self realized simply by having an academic education, by presenting lectures in an erudite way, Pravachanena Labhyaha, or by being an intelligent scientist who discovers many wonderful things. One cannot understand Krishna unless one is graced by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only one who has surrendered to a pure devotee of Krishna and taken the dust of his lotus feet can understand Krishna. First, one must understand how to get out of the clutches of Maya, the only means to become Krishna conscious. And to become Krishna conscious very easily, one must take shelter of a realized soul, a Mahatma, whose only interest is to engage in the service of the Supreme Lord. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritam ashritaha bhajanti ananya manaso jnatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine energy, divine nature. Thus, they are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Therefore, to end the unwanted miseries of life, one must become a devotee. Yashasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvair gunesh tatra samasate sura. One who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna consistently manifests all good qualities of Krishna and the demigods. Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tata guru tasya te katita hi artaha prakashante mahatmanah. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Yam eva ishe vrunute tena labhyas tasya eva atma vivrunute tanum swam. The Lord is obtained only by one whom he himself chooses. To such a person, he manifests his own form. These are Vedic injunctions. One must take shelter of a self-realized spiritual master, not a materially educated scholar or politician. One must take shelter of a nishkinchana, a person engaged in devotional service and free from material contamination. That is the way to return home back to Godhead. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.